we travel to Indianapolis to take a peek at the Zion Smith and Jaquisha Love case, whom were both sentenced to over 100 years for an overnight crime spree. Shortly after midnight, July 19, 2016, Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department were dispatched to the 3200 block of Robeson Street. There, they would find Darren Staton and another victim suffering from multiple gunshot wounds to their face, neck, and torso areas. Staton was pronounced dead at the scene, and the surviving victim was taken to the hospital in critical condition. Smith's fingerprints were located on the rear door frame of the vehicle where Staton's body was located. As the investigation continued on Robeson Street, a female approached officers and said she had been a victim of a robbery approximately about an hour earlier. The female identified Zion and Love as the suspects. According to the female's testimony, while walking near East 10th and North Gale Streets, Smith approached her, pulled out a firearm, and demanded her handgun. Smith also fired shots in her direction. The female later provided investigators with the shirt and jacket she was wearing at the time of the incident. Both had bullet holes in them. Spent .45 caliber cartridge cases also were discovered at the scene of the robbery. About 3:35 a.m., July 19, 2016, officers were called to a home in the 1400 block of Wallace Avenue to investigate a person shot. Upon arrival, officers located 3 people suffering from gunshot wounds inside of a home. According to multiple witnesses' statements, one of the victims answered the door when 2 suspects began firing shots and entered the home. One of the victims inside the home retrieved the firearm and returned fire in the direction of the shooter. The shooter then dropped the .45 caliber Smith & Wesson firearm and spent .45 caliber cartridge casings, which were recovered at the scene. Later that morning, about 4:16 a.m., officers were called to the 4000 block of East 12th Street to investigate a person shot. Officers located Love and a man later identified as Smith, suffering from a gunshot wound to the eye. Love falsely claimed at the time that she and Smith were near the 1000 block of Rule Street when they heard gunshots and Smith was injured. During the course of the investigation, an empty box of .45 caliber ammunition was located in the home that Smith had fled to after being shot. Smith's fingerprints was located on the box of ammunition. Ballistic comparisons determined that the spent cartridges at all 3 crime scenes, as well as the bullet fragments recovered from Staton's autopsy, were fired from the same firearm, which was dropped by Smith at the scene in the 1400 block of Wallace Avenue. Zion Smith then was 16 and Jaquisha Love was only 18 when they committed 3.5 hours of senseless violence. Marion County Prosecutor Terry Curry said in a statement, they will now spend the rest of their lives in the Department of Corrections for their crimes as consequences for incomprehensible decisions they made that night. The diligent work of IMPD investigators to link this series of crimes was critical to the successful prosecution of the defendants. So, to wrap things up, Zion Smith was sentenced to 145 years in prison, while Jaquisha Love was sentenced to 130 years in prison for the roles that they've played in 5 counts of murder, 5 counts of attempted murder, armed robbery, and carrying a handgun without a license. And this concludes tonight's episode of The Lick. And remember, it's not worth trying to gain a little bit of money just to receive a whole boatload of time Until next time, peace.